What's up? It's your boy DJ Gary, and we back, and we gonna get into this review. I'm gonna say first off, like this video, comment, subscribe. If this is your first time, be sure you hit the thumbs up. Let me know you listening. Let me know your favorite tracks. Um, Follow me on Twitter at Swisher Dreams. Also, put in the comment section of what you would like for me to review. I kind of, have some on the way. It's in the making. Let's get through this right here. So this is Chairman of the Board. This is their first album released on Invictus, and of course, Invictus, uh, Capitol Records, and this was Chairman of the Board. This was released in 1970, I believe January of 1970. Uh, if I recall, according to some research, it was just called uh, the Chairman of the Board, right? The name of the album was just their name, right? It was released later on as Give Me Just a Little More Time on later pressings, but it was just the Chairman of the Board. And this was uh, the album cover right here, right? So, who is Chairman of the Board? I kind of basically explained it in my HDNH and that video in Leviticus. I explained that in my Leviticus video, who they were and basically how they came about. So let's just give a quick rundown. So, Chairman of the Board, we got Danny Woods, we got Harrison Kennedy. Danny Woods is from Atlanta, Georgia. Harrison Kennedy from Canada. Eddie Curtis, I'm not sure where he's from. I think he's from down south or something. Then you got General Johnson. General Johnson might be, I think he's like the leader of the group, but they all take turns co-leading. That's something kind of different. You really didn't get that in a lot of groups, except for like, maybe like the Temptations. You have like uh, three co-leads on that album, maybe four, if so, right? Like, Melvin would do something, or uh, it would be kind of like once in a blue moon thing. Same with Otis, right? But Chairman of the Board uh, was pretty unique, right? Because all the members sang. And also, this is the first appearance of Eddie Curtis, uh, where he would be pretty much, he would leave after the second album. I'm going to get into that. So give me just a little more time. That was written by Ron Dunbar and Eddie Wayne. So Eddie Wayne, or Eddieth Wayne, is actually that was an alias for Holland Dozier Holland. They basically were in a lawsuit with Berry Gordy and under publishing and stuff like that. So they picked it a name uh, to fly under the radar, right? So give me just a little more time is basically uh, the lead is performed by General Johnson. General Johnson, uh, he gives he gives a solid performance. I want to say, reminiscent of a Levi Stubbs, right? And um, it's very like passionate type of thing. And the Funk Brothers is on that number actually. Uh, Dennis Coffey's on there, Eddie Willis, I believe Pistol Allen's on there, Bob Babbitt. And it's very like you could tell this is very, you know, post Motown sound for HD&H, new territory, you know, their new thing. So the sound, has a reminiscent, it's a unique sound, but, very Detroit, so to speak, right? So I really love the rhythm track of this. If you listen to, there's like an instrumental version, and it's very, just uh, it's pretty groovy. I picture like like a blue sky, and it's like weather's perfect. You know that type of thing. You just having a good time. But give me just a little more time is basically about um, not rushing the process, right? Is just taking it slow, and you know love will grow. Give it just a little more time. Don't overly rush. That's basically the theme of the song. uh I like this song. I first heard it on Chairmen of the Board Greatest Hits. My dad had it and have it in his collection. Uh, so Come Together uh, is led by Harrison Kennedy. Harrison Kennedy also he plays harmonica, so he's playing harmonica on this track. A few others too. This is I heard a bunch of versions of Come Together. This is pretty good. Harrison Kennedy has really like a edgy, like like folk type of like soft rock tone in his voice. Um, he has, of course, Southern roots in, I believe it was Tennessee, right? But this is a pretty good cover. I say it's a unique cover, and yeah, I like it. It's really cool. So let's go to Bless You. This is basically uh, written by Ron Dunbar and uh, Ian Johnson. Ian Johnson, I believe that's General Johnson, Norman General Johnson. So bless you. Um, bless you is a Motown vibe, kind of like a kind of in the same vein of like give me just a little more time, but a little more just simpler and a very catchy arrangement, and it's definitely uh, like a stripped down Motown type of vibe. I believe like if they didn't leave, if Holland Dozier Holland didn't leave, let's say, and I believe like they could have easily shopped this song to like the Four Tops, right? Even though General Johnson is co-writer of the track with Ron Dunbar, I feel like along with Holland Dozier Holland, they could have shopped this to Motown and easily like to the Four Tops, you know, it would have worked. But I like this track. It's feel good. Let's go to Patches. Patches uh, that deals with basically uh, a young boy who has basically responsibilities, and his father is sick, his father dies, and he has to really take on the responsibilities of being a young man in the country, right? Because it's basically it's a hard situation, and his son, like the father was depending on his son, to carry the family through, basically, you know, uh, through the ups and downs. So um, I really love this arrangement. Like it's just it gives like very like country vibe, like very down south type of thing going on. I know Clarence Carter actually had a version that came out and it went number one, I believe. Like it surpassed Patches of of Chairman of the Board, and like went number one. And I believe Clarence Carter actually commented on Chairman of the Board version. Something about like he wanted to give it like Clarence Carter. I'm paraphrasing. Clarence Carter basically was like, I wanted to give it a authenticity, you know, uh, and not like a kind of like a mockery, so to speak, like not so authenticity. Like maybe he was trying to say like General Johnson performance was not convincing, right? Which is kind of crazy because I believe General Johnson's version is convincing, right? And so is Clarence Carter. Which one was the best? I mean, I'll leave that up to who was ever listening. I think both of the tracks is great. One was performed by Muscle Shoals, one was performed by um, Possible Funk Brothers. Um, I love the chorus. It's a strong chorus. Uh, Not too complex, but to the point. So then we got Since the Days of Pigtails and Fairy Tales, right? So, it's interesting. Um, there's a section in the song, and I felt like the rhythm of the track. This was written by Ron Dunbar and Aldo Holland. It's interesting. I was thinking about there's there's like a lyric in the track where he's like, I may not be the one you want, but I'm the one you need. And I feel like that was, that this was performed by, this is Danny Wood singing on this one. And I kind of feel like that those lyrics was kind of like a dig at Motown, right? Because Smokey Robinson had a song, Come Around Here, I'm the One You Need. And he has a part where he's like, I may not be the one you want, but I'm sure enough the one you need, right? And interesting enough, that was co-written by Brian Holland and Smokey. So Brian Holland possibly used that as a shot at Motown, like, yeah, like I know you listening, Barry. I know you listening. You know, um, this is a good track. Danny Woods has a great presence on the track. I feel like Danny Woods is definitely was definitely like uh, one of those like gifted singers. Like I want to say like I put him in the class of like a Jackie Wilson, so to speak. Like he's like a Southern Jackie Wilson, so to speak, but like a little more uh, like upbeat, you know. So this is a great track. I love the rhythm. Uh, the chorus is okay. I love the horns. You know, uh, yeah, it's a good track. So let's go to the next one. I'll Come Crawling. I mean, this is self-explanatory, the title, so I really don't have to get into it. It's a good track. Um, I'm not really one for like really the whole, I come crawling type of, vibe, that type of thing. But it's a okay track. Daddy Woods does a good performance. Uh, I'm not crazy about the chorus though, but yeah, it's a good track. Let's go to the next one. You Got Me Dangling on the String. I love the chorus of that, especially like I felt like Gerald Johnson had a special ability with the nuance. like his nuances with pronouncing a word, like he would bend the his vocal cord to uh kind of like put some uh put like a boost in it, give it like a different thing. That whole uh my night's so lonely, pretty good love. Like he just knew like what to do, right? Um this is a great track. I really like the beginning that and then the way them drums come in, you know, like that whole vibe is crazy. Like I love it, right? And that whole I love the chorus. The whole "you got me dangling on the string," right? Forgive me, I don't mean to be singing, but can't help it. But I love this. It's really uh, I really like it. I think this is like a standout on the album. Like it gives us like a very like this is like some sunshine on the album, right? Because the the whole album, it's doing its thing, but when this song comes on, this kind of like picks up this really picks up the album. Like it gives it a instant light switch. And Gerald Johnson does a great job. um you could hear like really the guys saying uh when they like my nights are so long and really, really good love. Like I kind of feel like that like I kind of feel like that could have been Chairman of the Board mixed in with Holland Dozier Holland doing those backgrounds to kind of like thicken them up. Because I really believe I really believe that. But I'm gonna get off that. Let's go to the next one. Bravo, hooray. So basically, he's like, when they do their thing, you know, it's their love making is like so like how they say back in the day, dynamite or whatever. It's like a standing ovation, bravo, hooray, right? I find the rhythm of the opening of it interesting. It's pretty different from what everybody was doing in that time. That just that open do 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 right. Um, not pretty. Not I'm not crazy about the chorus on this one. I'm really not. But Gerald Johnson does his thing, and the track is cool. I really like it. Didn't we? This is performed by. This was written by Jimmy Webb. This is actually a cover, uh, and Eddie Curtis actually performs this track. It's it's a good cover. It's a beautiful cover. Like it's interesting. They really pulled this off. Uh, it just goes to show you the personalities inside of the track. Like, I mean, inside the album, like different personalities, like it comes out. Like everybody in that group had their unique, this is four members, right? So you can kind of see the personalities already. Danny Woods is doing this, Gerald Johnson's doing that, Harrison Kennedy doing this, and then Eddie Curtis has his thing. It's pretty. It's a well-rounded project, but Eddie Curtis does a good job. He's very great with show tunes and stuff like that, like covers. Uh, he really does his thing. Beautiful arrangements. It's a beautiful arrangement. I enjoy it. It's kind of like a break from the kind of like a break from the dance floor, right? And maybe slow dance, right? But a lot of people was not feeling this, like when he performed on stage with Chairman Borad, like he kind of got the slow clap, right? Nobody didn't like when Eddie Curtis performed, and he was really like uh, kind of hurt by that. I get into that on the second album, but this is a good cover. Yeah. Then we have "Feeling All Right," written by Dave Mason. Dave Mason of the group Traffic. Uh, I've heard so many versions of "Feeling All Right." Uh, you know, the Jackson Five did a version. I will always love their version. Uh, Joe Cocker did a version. Uh, Joe Cocker's version is probably like the most well-known version next to Traffic. Interesting, right? And this actually uh, this is performed by Harrison Kennedy. Harrison Kennedy he really does an excellent job, uh, basically, doing his own thing with it, but also, he plays, I think he played harmonica on it. And what I find that's interesting is his feeling all right performance is reminiscent uh, of Joe Cocker's version. So I kind of feel like they kind of like really played on the Joe Cocker version to, uh, maybe Harrison Kennedy was digging Joe Cocker's version and he decided to go with it, right? It could have been that he decided, hey, let's let's try to redo Joe Cocker's version of "Feeling All Right." Um, it's a good song. It's a good cover. Uh, it's very like mm, like soulful, uh, soft rock kind of like country going on. Harrison Kennedy does his thing. Shout to Harrison Kennedy. I heard he's still doing music. He's doing bluegrass now, and he made like a, a career for himself after chairman of the board, and he's still around. I would love to hear uh, his story. So let's go to My Way. Um, Now, My Way, this is a Frank Sinatra cover. Uh, Frank Sinatra. Uh, this was My Way was written by was it was written by Paul Anka. Paul Anka had that song "Lay Your Head on My Shoulder," and that was kind of like a big thing going, a big song. That's like one of his big songs. Um, this is a good cover of Frank Sinatra's "My Way." Uh, this, like if you read the reviews on Amazon, like this, like the covers kind of get bad reviews. Like people be like, these covers is horrible, but it's actually unique. Uh, at least for me as a listener, My Way, Eddie Curtis does a great job. He has a beautiful voice. I love the arrangement. And Frank, My Way is by Frank Sinatra is my favorite song. So I can't really front on this. He actually does a pretty good job, and it's a solid performance. Let's go to the next song, Tricked and Trapped. Tricked and Trapped is basically a tale of like it's kind of a crazy song. Like he gets tricked, uh, involved with uh, like a 16-year-old girl who portrayed to be like in her 20s or portrayed to be like a grown up, and the, then the father basically uh, wants them to marry. Uh, like he like forces them to get married, and so it's a crazy track. I was like, yo, this would literally not make it to radio today. Like it would be all type of stuff going on. So this was written by Ron Dunbar. This was co-written by Eddie Dwayne, of course, Holland Dutcher Holland. Um, this is it's a good. I like the track. I like the track, rhythm track. I'm not. It's funny lyrics. I'm not that crazy about uh chorus, but Danny Wood's performance really sells it. Uh, it's funky, you know. What more can I say? So yeah. So this is my review basically. Um, let's go to the credits. So this album was arranged by Tony Camilio. There you go, right here. We got Danny Woods, Harrison Kennedy, Gerald Johnson. Uh, yeah. LT Horn. You know, LT Horn. There is some, there's really something about him. Uh, yeah, he really got into some crazy stuff regarding his kids. But, you know, all right, that's all I'm going to say right now. Like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm out.